Hello world, welcome to Raccoon Point Studios. I'm Sean Bombs, and today we're taking a look at the Boss Space Echo RE-202. Before I go through the sounds, I'm just going to explain all this stuff right here. Up top we have a spot for presets. You can save up to 4 presets. With Midi you can go all the way up to 127 presets. And then down here is your input, so you have a guitar or a line, and that's just going to change the level of the input. So if it's a hot line level input, then you put it on line and it won't be as noisy. A guitar needs a little bit more gain, so you're going to use that for this. And this would be really useful, the line input, if you're using it with your DAW or whatnot as a hardware insert. Moving next to here, we have the tape age, which is going to be new and or aged. And with new, it's going to be brighter, it's going to be less warbly and all that stuff, less modulation. And with aged, it's going to have a high-end roll-off, it's going to be warmer sounding and have more modulation. And then down here you have a knob for saturation, which is really handy. And you have 3 ways you can control the saturation. One is just to affect the delay trails itself, or you can have it to be a preamp for the overall signal. And you can have it set up to where it's always on, so even if you turn the delay effect off, it stays on. Or you can have it set up to where it's a preamp, but it's only on when everything else is on. So those are the 3 ways you can do that. Then you have your wow and flutter, and that's going to give you that tape wow and flutter, which is going to be pitch fluctuation and the like. It's kind of like a vibrato, if you will. And then you have over here your mode selector, and that's going to be all your tape heads. You have 12 different modes, and 1 through 3 is just a single tape head. 5 to 7 is the first 3 tape heads, and then Boss added a 4th tape head for this, and it's not on the original units, but they added it for fun. So 8 to 12 is going to give you combinations of 4 tape heads. So that's pretty cool. And then over here we have our bass and treble, and that's going to affect just the delay trails again. It's not going to affect your original signal. And then you have reverb volume, that's separate from your echo volume. So you have those independently. The cool thing about this unit is they give you 5 different reverbs to choose from for any given preset, or whatever head you're using. You can have a different one if you save it that way. Or you can have whatever reverb that you choose to be globally there for anything that you do. I tried out the reverbs. The spring reverb's cool. I don't really use spring reverb, but I think so far I like the plate reverb, but that was on the drum machine itself. I liked it. But still, it's cool to have options. And then over here is your repeat rate, and that's going to affect the time of the delays. So all the way to the left is the slowest, and then as you crank it to the right, it's going to be faster. And you'll also hear it shift in pitch when you do that, just like a tape would. So over here after that is the intensity, which is your feedback, and that anything after 12 o'clock, it's going to start to self-oscillate. What's cool about this is you can get it right on the edge of self-oscillation, but it doesn't run away from you. It'll still hang out a little bit, and you'll just have those kind of effects in the background, very reminiscent of, you know, Radiohead, the Benz, or OK Computer. And then you have your echo volume, and that's going to give you your volume of your echo. And it's not a mix knob. You can go all the way up, and you'll still have your tone right there. So that's pretty cool. So just one thing to keep in mind, whenever you use the saturation, you want to compensate with the echo volume. Otherwise, the echo might be way too loud or out of hand, unless you're going for that effect, of course. So I just want to show you the difference between the heads, and I'm not going crazy with the saturation or wow and flutter. I will be toggling on and off the new and the age tape, and then we'll just get into a bunch of other stuff. But I'm going to go through the first 3 heads and then show you some of the multi-head. For the next portion of this video, I'm staying on tape head 2, twiddling the knob so we can just hear what the differences are with the different settings here, and that way we don't get overwhelmed with the different tape heads and all that different stuff. 1, 2, and 3 do sound a little bit different. They're supposed to. Tape head 2's in between 1 and 3, so I figured it'll be closer to each of them, and we'll just stay there. So here we go. I'm going to start with saturation down, wow and flutter down, everything in the middle, and the rate as slow as it can go for this, and we'll just go with the intensity right here for now, and then I'll just start tweaking stuff so you can really hear it. Now we have a drum machine hooked up to the Space Echo via MIDI, so it's sending the clock to the Space Echo, so it just syncs up with it in time. I have gone through the global settings and changed the behavior so that tape head 1 would have a dotted eighth note, so you get that edge type of thing going. It's not really what I do as a guitar player, but it's still fun to do it. When I do it, I feel like I'm playing U2 or Pink Floyd or something like that. But nevertheless, it's a good trick. It's a fun trick. People still use it in different creative ways. Just, it's not my thing. But I'm going to show it to you today. I also have an expression pedal at the bottom, and I programmed that with this. You can have it control any of these knobs. I don't think it can do the tape age, line input, or the mode selector. So you can change the wow and flutter and saturation. For this, I think I just did the intensity to give it a little bit of self-oscillation that I can pull back. Alright, that's what you get. I have a foot switch to turn on the Boss Roland, because I can. So as you can see, the MIDI capability makes it very convenient. So if you want to lock in to a drum machine or your DAW, you can just lock it in. You don't have to tap it in. And you know, sometimes you can tap it in perfectly and sometimes it takes a minute. But when you hook it up that way, it's always going to be in sync, and you can have more time to mess around with the other knobs like your treble and bass and your, you know, saturation and whatnot. The only last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the different saturation modes, well, the other saturation mode, having it as a preamp. So now we're going to check out the saturation, and I'm going to change it so it affects the whole guitar signal, not just the delay line. So let's try some other pedals with this. I have my Big Muff Black Russian and the Catlin Bread Soft Focus. Here's the clean sound.